Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of Food is Medicine. So let's get cooking. It has been a hot second since I've made one of these cooking videos. I'm so happy to be back in the kitchen with you guys. This has been one of my favorite recipes to kind of use for meal prep for a healthy breakfast during residency. So we're going to be making pesto egg bites today. It's nutrient rich. It fits so many different types of diet styles, including the Mediterranean diet, the DASH diet if you do not include salt or limit your salt, and then also really does fit kind of like a keto low carb diet as well. And it also fits my favorite diet, which is FFPP. Basically, I think it's an easy way to kind of focus on including the right things in your diet. So including enough fat, fiber, plants, and protein in your meals, I think is a really great way to ensure that you're getting all the good stuff every time you're nourishing your body with a meal. So before we get started, for those of you guys who are new, my name is Hannah Thornburg. I am now a second-year resident physician in a family medicine residency program. So I've been doing a lot of vlogs throughout residency, and I honestly have really missed kind of being in the kitchen and sharing recipes with you guys. But anyone who knows residency, my first year of residency is intern year, and it was great. I learned a ton, but it was a really rigorous time. And so making these recipes and kind of making these videos for you guys is one of my favorite things to do. But it does take a lot more kind of time and preparation and research to make sure I'm getting you guys all the right ratios and also all the right facts about each of the nutrients. And so I am back, and I think there's going to be a lot more of these second year when I have more time, I have more full weekends and all that kind of stuff. So with that being said, I'm so happy to be back. Thank you guys for being here. Let's get started. So we are making pesto egg bites. These are rich in omega-3s, rich in protein, rich in a bunch of amazing plants that we have here. So consequently, a lot of good fiber, micronutrients, polyphenols, all the good stuff. So let's get started. I already have everything prepped here. I have 8 eggs in this bowl right here just because I didn't want to crack 8 eggs in front of you guys. But basically get 8 eggs. Keep the yolks because that has all the good stuff. If you're watching your cholesterol, you may want to, cut down on the yolks. But I love the yolks. They are a great source they're where you're getting your omega-3s, and they're also where you're getting your carotenoids. This is one thing that I actually do splurge on. I'm all about kind of saving in the kitchen and using the cheaper option. I use a lot of frozen vegetables because I want eating healthy to be affordable. But when it comes to eggs, I do pick the pasture-raised eggs because they are like 2 to 3 times higher amounts of omega-3s per egg. They also have higher amounts of carotenoids, and the hens are actually in the sun more, so the eggs also have more vitamin D. So I like to use, and it's a splurge, but I like to use pasture-raised eggs for this. I'm going to put these guys just straight into a blender, okay? Sorry, that's kind of a weird sound, but straight into the blender. You guys are going to see this recipe is like beyond easy. So we've got our 8 eggs in here, and then I am adding, you can do half an onion or a whole onion. Last time I made this, I only had half an onion available, so that's totally fine. But I have a whole onion today, and I don't want it to go bad, so I'm going to put the whole onion in there. And then one of our star ingredients, we have about, say like a handful, probably like it would end up being like half a cup to a cup, maybe like 6 full sprigs of basil. Basil is one of those nutrients one of those ingredients. I always like to have a few star ingredients in my recipes, and basil is one of them today. One, the smell and the flavor that this brings, this is what makes this really taste like pesto egg bites. It's fantastic. The basil is also, it's a great plant. It's a great leafy green. It's a great spice and flavoring. But one of my favorite facts about it is one of my universities, so the University of South Florida, actually had a study on fencol, which is a compound found in some leafy greens, including, they specifically noted, basil, and found to be potentially protective in a preclinical study against Alzheimer's disease. So a lot of people that I talk to, a lot of my patients are really interested in how they can protect their brain health. Getting a lot of plants, getting a lot of fiber, getting a lot of colors from plants in your diet is a great way to do this. And then if you want to get excited about basil, besides just the amazing taste, you can think about fencol as being one of those nutrients that is being studied right now to be potentially protective against Alzheimer's disease. So putting that in here, it is a strong flavor. I love the flavor. So you could always half this and do like half the amount, but it's basically a good handful of basil. And then while we're at that, I'm also going to do a handful of spinach. Just a great way to get more fiber, more greens, but you know, a nice generous handful, throwing it all in there. Spinach, again, great source of iron. People who don't like to eat red meat, you can get a lot of iron from spinach, also beans, but spinach here is a great way to get that. Then you're also getting vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin K, and then magnesium. So love having spinach in here as well. And then I love to add cauliflower. Most of my meals, for me, it's huge for, you know, my hormone health, is getting cruciferous. I aim to get at least a cup of cruciferous vegetables every day. And so this is a great way to kind of sneak in some cruciferous vegetables. So I include cauliflower. You could totally do broccoli if you prefer broccoli. But I do love the emphasis on the flavor of the pesto, and I don't want to take from that. And I feel that cauliflower is a bit more of a mild flavor, which is really nice here. So that's it. Then I'm going to add just a little bit of salt and pepper. And you guys, that's literally it. So let me grab that. Okay. So literally just a little salt, pepper. If you are here and you're following the DASH diet, I know I had some people come on here looking at my previous DASH diet recipe. It was also a breakfast meal. So of course you can have these any time of day, but you can just limit the salt or not have salt altogether. I promise you the basil will add great flavor. So basically we just put that all in here and then blend it. Whatever blender you have, you can use it. And we're just gonna blend it up. I like to finely blend it. I don't want it, or I like to loosely blend it. I like there to be some texture, and it's gonna get baked in the oven. I don't want to make it to the point where it's just like a paste, essentially. I like the texture of this. It kind of makes it taste like those kind of like egg bites you'll find at Starbucks or something like that. So blending it up. Just until everything is, you know, in a small little piece. Nice and slow. Perfect. So just like that. Very, very loosely blended, I think is very nice. Okay, let me just move all this aside. Okay. And then my friend and I were really trying to meal prep together. And so she got these really cute little kind of like egg bite thingies. I guess they could also be for muffins. But I've been using them for egg bites. And so I'll try and link this or something like it in the kind of description below. But it's like, as you can see, you can kind of press on these to easily kind of get the egg bites to come out. So I am just going to lather the bottom with olive oil just so it doesn't stick, although it already is kind of non-stick. And then I'm going to pour this in there and then we'll get going. So just adding a little bit of olive oil, and then I'm just going to kind of rub it to all of them to disperse it, just to make it a little bit more non-stick. Do not want the egg bites sticking to it, but they actually come off the cups pretty well. In residency, one of the biggest things I've been focusing on, for those of you guys who haven't been watching my vlogs and everything, is really just making sure that I prioritize my health. And one of the biggest ways that I've been doing that is trying to meal prep at least a healthy meal or two on the weekends, so that when I go into the week, I have just a healthy option. I'm making sure that I'm getting a good amount of vegetables, fiber, and just nutrients in general. It makes me feel like I'm staying really on top of my health during a really busy time in my career. So these are a must for anyone who's on the go. They store really well in the fridge. You just warm them up. You warm them up in the oven, which I recommend just to keep it a little bit crispier. They're so good. So they'll last you all week, and they're a great meal prep option. So it looks kind of weird in the blender, but I promise you these are to die for. You can smell it if you're making it with me right now, which I hope you are. It's so fun to cook alongside you guys. It smells so good. And you basically just literally pour it. You guys, this is the easiest healthy recipe ever. And these taste so good. It literally tastes like you bought these at Starbucks or you're at like a cute little brunch restaurant. They're so incredibly delicious. So, and I did leave mine. Clumpy is not a great word, very appetizing word, but I don't really have a better word to describe it. So we're going with that. Just into each one. And then I have the oven already preset at about 350. These cook pretty slowly. You'll know when they're ready when they separate from the cup. They separate really nicely. Oh, looks like we have one left over. Oh wait, just kidding. I think there's some stuck to the bottom. This one might be a little bit more with vegetables. All right. Come on, bud. This one's gonna have a lot of spinach. It's separated a little bit. That one will be extra packed. Okay, wonderful. Okay, perfect. So this is kind of how they look. Gorgeous. I want to top them with a little bit of feta cheese just because I personally love cheese. And it's also a nice way to add a little bit more protein. You really could do, if you are a cheese fan, you don't have to use cheese whatsoever. I've done these without cheese before. But if you want a little, I do feel like it adds a little nice extra flavor on top. So just putting a little bit of that on top. You could use mozzarella. You could use cheddar. I feel like honestly, if you wanted to make a variation, I'm just kind of thinking about this. If you wanted to make a variation and use like no pesto and like broccoli instead of cauliflower, you could kind of get like a little broccoli cheddar thing going on, which could be really good as well. This one is definitely something that you can vary up. I've added red peppers before to a variation of this. So this is definitely, hopefully this inspires you guys a little bit of inspiration for other types of recipes you can make where you take a certain amount of eggs and blend it with a bunch of amazing good for you vegetables. Okay, wonderful. So we've got these guys all set. I'm just going to go put them in the oven. Usually at 350, I'll put them in for about 30 to 40 minutes. Basically, you want to just keep watching them. Once it hits that 30-minute mark, they'll kind of start to clump together and they will almost like withdraw from the edges of the cups. And so they're usually really easy to remove and you'll definitely be able to tell when they're ready. And yeah, these are just such a great meal prep for you guys. I hope this is super, super helpful. Again, they store really well in the fridge. You can just put them in a container. They don't stick together, so you can just put them all together in a container. Take a few when you're on your way to work. For those people who are busy, this is such a great way to stay super healthy. And then just prop them in the microwave or in the oven, which will taste a little bit better because it'll keep them all crispy. But these are just such a great way to meal prep and really take charge of your health and make sure that you're getting a lot of good protein, fiber, fats, and plants. Again, FFPP. That is my favorite because I think it really simplifies all the different diets that are so good for you. We know the Mediterranean diet is so evidence-based and it really focuses on a lot of these ingredients. And so I'm going to go prop this in the oven and then I will show you guys the final product for the outro, just so you guys can see how delicious these are. So if you cook this with me, go ahead and prop it in the oven. And then again, you'll know when it's ready in about 30 to 40 minutes. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and I hope the little like facts along the way kind of make you guys a little bit more excited about all the ingredients in these and just eating healthy in general. That's my goal, is to, kind of help you visualize all the benefits that you're reaping from each of the ingredients in this recipe. So thank you guys so much for joining. I'll show you guys the final product in the outro, but this is going to be a great meal prep for the week for me. I'm filming this on a Sunday and I'm going to the hospital to start work again on Monday. So I'm going to be bringing with these with me to the hospital tomorrow morning. Just a really great way to stay healthy and keeps me full till lunch because it is so full of fiber and protein. So really, really good. Love it. Thank you guys so much for joining. As always, food is medicine. So let's get cooking. Subscribe if you haven't, and definitely drop any comments about any questions, thoughts, ideas that you have, or any combinations that you think sound really good and you're going to try out for these egg bites. It's so many variants you guys can make. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for being here, and I will show you guys the final product on the outro. They are so good, so I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you so much.